Welcome to the Cult of Comics podcast. I'm Tyler Brown, and today I'm joined by, of course, Josh Craven and Carl Pilkin. Sean Walsh. How you guys doing today?
Hey, man, I thought we were using last names.
Why am I an idiot abroad? I've done nothing. I'm not abroad.
What, you definitely act like you're abroad.
He's kind of got the Carl Pilkington hair.
Yeah, it's with a spitting image of each other.
Absolutely.
It has been sunny this weekend, though, and I have been camping, so technically I have had a vacation this weekend. Yeah.
Do you take your dad on trips with you around the world?
In 80 days?
No.
I'm not Jack Whitehall.
He doesn't leave his couch cushion.
What are you talking about?
I think in Idiot Abroad, I think he brought his dad along for like a season or something.
That wasn't him.
Oh,
Jack Whitehall.
Oh, that's right. It was.
Yeah, I know what your show you're talking about, though.
Not Jack White, but Jack Whitehall.
Yeah,
Jack
that's actually a really funny show. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Jack
traveling
Whitehall's
shows.
father is hilarious.
2 traveling shows with 2 British guys, and
I don't blame you.
All look alike.
Exactly. Look, it's not their fault. They all have the same, Uncle Daddy. Anyways,
we all have the same teeth. How are you supposed to tell us apart?
You actually have some of the nicest teeth outside of the, nightmares of things that I've seen.
Look at that smile.
Yeah. When you speak, I can actually understand you over instead of just the constant underbite.
I've never had braces either. These are all natural, baby.
I have. I have worse British teeth than most of the people you probably know. Yeah. Took years and a lot of money to do it. I heard a joke the other day I wanted to share with you. My wife got braces. Now my kids are behind bars. That's right. You're welcome.
Don't bring the show down to that level.
It's already happening. Anyways, welcome to the show. If you've never been on the podcast before, we are a comic book media podcast. We are the only podcast with this price of admission. It's the same price as subjugation. And in this episode, we are going to be talking about the news around the world of what's going on in the world of comic books. Today is Monday, August 23rd, 2021. And we're going to start talking about some of the new things going on. We're going to start off by talking about Newburn by Chip Zdarsky and Jacob Phillips coming from Image. Jacob Phillips being the artist from That Texas Blood, brother to Sean Phillips, yes. With creator Chip Zdarsky, who's well known for multiple things. Where he's been on Daredevil, he's been on Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man. He has been on Sex Criminals. He's become one of those names he is
a sex criminal.
He is.
Yeah, he is really someone who's become a big A-list writer in the last 2 years.
I do have a criticism. It bothers me that he isn't drawing as much as he used to. I know he's doing covers here and there.
But his he's a better writer than he is an artist, and his art is great.
Yeah. I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare that to art styles, right? Because that's like saying that Gordon Ramsay is a better chef than Benedict Cumberbatch is an actor. And it's like, well,
no, but
what's the scale there?
You're comparing. It's not like I'm comparing, Scott Snyder's writing is worse than Greg Capullo's artwork. I'm saying this man has 2 talents. And I think I enjoy his writing more than I enjoy his artwork. His artwork is still good. I'm not complaining about his artwork, but it's just his writing. Everything he writes recently, I have loved.
I'm not going to deny that. Absolutely. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, just from my personal opinion, I'd rather he focused on writing rather than art.
I think that it would be really cool to see him do a twofer at some point, him laying it all out, doing the majority of the work. Exactly. I think that if he wasn't spreading himself apart on so many different formats right now, he's got this new title coming out, which is going to be a crime story, which is coming through Image. But I'm curious, is this one of the Substack books that was going to be announced by him?
No, he announced his first Substack book a few weeks ago, and it was it's called Public Domain.
Okay.
And it's about what does it say? It's about a family of comic creators wrestling with their greatest creation and the people who lay claim to it. Mm-hmm. It's a look at the industry through a fractured family, and will feature a comic book artist named Brian Stegman.
Did we say what Newburn was about?
Not yet. So it's a detective story, which has been described as Sherlock Holmes meets The Wire. It's an ongoing series about a private detective.
I'm really not even joking, man. I'm gonna have to cancel like a large amount of my subscriptions to make room for all of this new stuff that's coming out right now. It's a challenge. I get that a lot of the stuff right now is like miniseries, and that's fine.
I'm gonna try and let my miniseries finish, and then I'm gonna be a lot pickier about what I choose.
A continuous trickle.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it really is. There's a lot of. I mean, I'm just looking at my stack right now. Miniseries, ongoing miniseries, and it's just it's all piling up on top of each other. Now, don't get me wrong, this is like a platinum age for comic books right now, and I think that it's just funny to me that people like Alan Moore don't want to be in comics anymore when this is like the prime time to be creator owned.
Yeah, they have so many options besides Marvel or DC to choose from. They don't have to just work with those guys.
And I mean, when he was coming out with all of those amazing pieces, I mean, they were something either going through just DC directly, and then like they were kind of like a side story, or they were Vertigo, pre-Vertigo. It's just funny to me that there's so much now, and this is the time that he's like, nah, I quit comics. Comics breaks my heart. It's like, I mean, okay, fair.
Get Alan Moore on Substack. I'll subscribe to Alan Moore.
That's like what I'm saying. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go out and go read his entire collection of what's it called? Promethea? No, what is it called?
It's Prometheum or something.
Yeah, whatever that one is. The one where it's
the one with the fairy tale characters, you mean?
No. This is the one that's revolved around the HP Lovecraft style, like horror and everything. He loves that stuff. I can't remember what it's been. I just remember seeing it. When it was coming out.
Alan Moore and J.H. Williams.
No, that can't be it. It has to be something else. I can't remember what it is. It doesn't matter. Anyways,
that's wrong.
It's my mistake. I'm thinking of something else here. There's another book.
Is it a recent one?
It's one of the more recent things. I can't remember what it is, but
where is his bibliography?
See, that's what I mean. It's like it's actually kind of challenging finding some of his stuff.
I'll do it. I'm gonna get it.
I'm the leader. Anyway, I'm gonna find it.
Anyway, while you guys are looking for that, I just want to say I've got so much stuff in my backlog to read. Because we have the comics that we discussed this week, but there's stuff that we don't all read that I've got all backlog. Sean and I have all of the bad idea stuff to go over at some point.
I really just don't understand why you guys are even bothering with that. I know some people are like digging into that right now. I just don't understand. I really don't.
It is.
It's got some good creators on it.
I'm sure there is, but I just don't. The hype was like it came and went, and then.
Don't worry, there'll be more hype.
But why again?
Because that's all that's their angle is just generating hype.
Providence was the name of the story, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are going to. Like, I feel like this is mostly a speculator thing where they're like, well, this.
Oh, definitely. We don't have to keep talking about it. I was just taking up some time while you.
No, you're fine. I'm just saying that I just don't understand what the hype is around it. I mean, my shop has been talking about it a little bit too, but I just. I don't understand the interest. Yeah. We're also going to talk about another recent announcement for a title. It's called "What's the Furthest Place from Here" by Matthew Rosenberg and Tyler Boss, also coming from Image. What is this plot?
I'm just searching up now.
We're very well put together on this.
So prepared.
So it's a new post-apocalyptic series from Image.
Okay.
The world has ended. Now all that remains are gangs of children living among the ruins. Sid believes there must be something more out there, but when she disappears into the wasteland, her gang will risk everything to bring her home. It's a story about things that matter most: survival, loved ones, and your record collection.
Okay. I like Tyler Boss. He's a great artist.
Is this the one that comes with the
It is the one that comes with the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yes. So the first issue is a whopping 60 pages. And it comes... each issue will come in both a standard edition and also a direct market exclusive limited edition, which comes with a 7-inch vinyl single featuring new music
Really?
from a number of musicians and bands.
Okay.
Which is very interesting.
I mean, it's not necessarily the first time we've seen something like this, right? I mean, it's
but we Live from Aftershock, which came with QR codes that you scan and took you to a YouTube channel with the music.
Yeah.
But actually coming with a vinyl. An
actual vinyl. Yeah.
Oh,
that is cool.
Damn. How it's got to be like a 6-inch vinyl, right?
7-inch.
It's a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some say it's 7, some say it's 6.
I think it's a matter of if you want to lie to women.
For reference, I'll just show you 7 inches.
Sean, this is a family show.
Sit down.
Sit down.
Sit down. I don't need to see your fat hog right now. Later. So Joss has just shown some stuff in the chat. There's been an announcement from Image.
Yeah, we'll save that for after the other.
I just brought it up, Josh.
I know, but we had the other solicits on the page.
No.
Oh, right.
Apparently Geiger is going to be getting an 80-page giant number 1. Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch introducing a character known as Redcoat, with his revealing ties to the American Revolution, the Unknown War, and Geiger himself.
So it's like a giant magazine. It looks like a magazine cover, just like tabloids.
It reminds me of like an 80s or like a 60s, 70s kind of special issue of a comic.
Yeah, I was going to say something like an annual, like an older annual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you have an annual after you've had 6 issues?
Apparently,
I mean, why not?
Yeah. So this is the new format that they were teasing after the end of the arc.
What do you mean?
Because they said after the first arc of Geiger, they would come out with an expanded universe. This is what they were talking about.
Oh. It also has a preview of Jeff Johns and Gary Frank's new upcoming series, Junkyard Joe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're saying format, but I thought that this was just going to be like, hey, well, this is some of the in-universe stuff that they're talking about. This isn't going to be an ongoing thing, right? Like 80 pages book, 80 page book number 2, 80 page number 3.
Yeah.
Well, they might.
I mean, at this point, we don't know.
Over the years.
Yeah. It just says number 1 right now. But they were, we've seen mentionings of an expanded universe, other types of comics coming out. So there's the Junkyard Joe, there's this 80-page giant issue on top of the continuing Geiger.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. I'm excited. What?
A new Jeff Johns Gary Frank series. You didn't seem that excited when I read it out loud.
Junkyard Joe, I guess I'm not that surprised just because it seems like he's kind of digging his heels into this right now.
Yeah.
But
is it going to be the Junkyard Joe that we're going to meet in the next issue, or is it going to be more of the Beetle Bailey Junkyard Joe?
I was thinking that it's going to be more like the Junkyard Joe, the guy who sells you crack cocaine behind the 7-Eleven around the corner.
Okay.
Josh, you know about that guy. That's why you're on a witness protection program, right?
Because I killed him, yeah.
Exactly. All right.
But just some guest writers on this 80-page giants. We have Sterling Gates, Janet Harvey, Leon Hendricks III, Peter J. Tomasi, Pornsack
Pitchett Show.
We've been through this.
Did we?
Yeah. Every time we talk about the good Asian.
Oh, right. I thought you meant we already listed names.
Yeah. Sorry.
I forget how to pronounce it though. Pitchett Show.
Pitchett Show.
Pitchett Show.
Shit show.
You're English. It's okay.
Pitchett Shote.
Perfect. Look at you.
Pitchett
Shote.
You want to cover the artists too?
We got Staz Johnson, Joe Prado, Paul Pelletier, Gary Frank, Sean Galloway, Peter.
Oh, wow. Gary Frank.
Oh, wow. Kelly Jones, Megan Levins, and Brian Hitch. A couple different variant covers. Cover A is going to have Gary Frank. Cover B will have Brian Hitch. Cover C, Paul Pelletier. And cover D, Megan Levins.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into this. I'm kind of interested to see how is Jeff Johns going to build his own world here. I mean,
it didn't feel like it had the scope to build a full breathing universe.
Well,
however,
it needs more world building, and you can accomplish that with the giant issue.
You can.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with you though. I do feel like this is enough of a simple beginning that you can start building off of there.
Yeah.
This doesn't necessarily remind me exactly of it, but I can see a little bit of the history of some of the characters from JSA. You know, it's just really simple origins that feel very superhero-y, but
okay.
What is
you
your gonna
like, oh, this is just set in the Fallout universe?
Oh, no. But I can't, I mean, we've also been, but maybe. There's also been an announcement from Boom regarding the matter of Oswald's body by Christopher Cantwell and Luca Casalunguida, which is a conspiracy theory book, I'm assuming, probably something that's going to be like Department of Truth.
Yeah, so it is a 5-issue comic series from Christopher Cantwell and Luca
Casalunguida.
Yes. Chris Cantwell's a writer I've been enjoying recently. He's done some good stuff.
His Iron Man stuff is fantastic.
Yeah. He also did a Doctor Doom series that received a lot of praise.
Right. Yeah.
So the description is: the Kennedy assassination is a rat's nest of conspiracy theories, mafia involvement, the second gunman, government cover-up. But the most important chapter of this sordid tale may just be the theory that the buried body, that the body buried at Oswald's Rose Hill gravesite is not actually Lee Harvey himself. Meet the ragtag group of useful idiots.
Doom Patrol.
Words are not my friend today. A wannabe cowboy from Wisconsin, a Buddy Holly idolizing former car thief, a world-weary civil rights activist ready for revolution, and a failed G-man who still acts the part, who are unwittingly brought together to clean up the crime of the century and specifically deal with the matter of Oswald's body.
Interesting.
We need to talk about Oswald's body.
Listen, we need to have a conversation about Q. Where we go when we go all follow the white rabbit. I just went on 4chan. Q told me to show off Sean's dick to the world.
I tried to get out and you told me to stop.
Well, that's before I realized that your dick is the white rabbit, so I have to.
Why does Sean keep hiding it?
Why do you keep hiding it from the world? Tell us what your secret is. Tell us what's the secret of your trouser snake. In this case, the trouser rabbit.
It's a two-headed trouser snake.
It's just that big that it wouldn't fit on the camera.
Fair enough. I like Christopher Cantwell. I'm going to be checking this book out.
Probably
another book.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I know.
Just keep adding it to the pile.
I think we all need to get second jobs.
Yeah,
probably. I mean, you know, I was
go ask your boss for a raise.
I was looking at this not that long ago. Comic book inflation is kind of ridiculous, and if it actually measured out the way that it should, which is like in response to the growth of minimum wage, as well as with like the standard cost of living, it actually should still be around like $2.50. Like it shouldn't be $4 at this point.
Should be paying a nickel.
Yeah, right. Because realistically, the creators are still going to get paid. It's not like our individual sales of these books are like going directly into the pockets of those people. That money's going to the comic shops. It's that these creators are already getting paid from the contract from the industries.
And I don't know if it should scale. I mean, maybe there's some logic to the price scaling a bit more with, having to ship farther and any sort of extra multimedia they have to do to advertise.
I mean, you would think so, but realistically, because of the advances in technology these days, you really don't need that much to promote. You really don't need. I mean, the issue with communication before when you're shipping it out is you had to like call people up on the phone, confirm the certain order, write it down on a piece of paper, call it right back. I mean, now you have the internet. You can just go click, okay, done.
Yeah.
That's it. So realistically, the cost of what it is now is all just strictly going to the shops themselves. And
DC respectively, is a cardstock cover really worth an extra $1?
That's exactly the kind of thing that I ask. You know, it's the same question that I ask for like, okay, well, is this $10 book that's like 80 pages actually worth that? Because they do the exact same thing for a square bound version of that. If you look at 850 issue of Spider-Man or Venom 200, both square bound, both different materials for covers, dramatically different from the type of covers that they used on issue 800 of Spider-Man, which is that thin, flimsy, basic, just regular comic book, just like has a lot more pages. It's just interesting to me that they're trying to like, and a couple of years back, they were trying to use different like gloss papers, DC it was at least, different gloss papers to see if they could print things on there differently and if it responded well. Image was like, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to keep doing our traditional papers. Now there's going to be like a variety of different styles for what they're printing on.
The pages for like an Image comic feel better than like DC or Marvel a lot of the time.
I mean, I don't know about that. The issue of Home that I'm looking at right now felt very much just like the issue of Gamma Flight 3 that I read this week.
I think some Image books though are higher quality.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe Radiant Black.
I think that they do print like specifically on certain types of paper based on the book. Just because
some definitely have the slightly
smaller runs get cheaper paper.
Maybe. I mean, it
seems to be ongoing runs that get the cheaper paper and like
it might be saving a lot more money. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what I've got. I don't know. But
I'm also wondering if I'm wondering if it also has something to do with like the ink that they're printing on as well, because there's been plenty of times where like that flimsier paper, the ink will come off on my fingers really easy.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever noticed the ink coming off, but I know some covers do look like they've been like oversaturated with ink, like the cover almost has that kind of rippling.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like it got a little too wet or something, and it just like waved. Yeah, I know what you mean. Meanwhile, I'm looking at like my Batman Catwoman book right now, and that's like a really like sturdy.
Yeah, that's cardstock.
Yeah, hang on. What did this one cost this week? I forgot. Is this $5?
Well, it's $5.99.
Yeah, $4.99. Yeah.
$4.99.
$4.99.
I mean, they also have that interesting gloss. Like they have like the mask here. It has a little bit more of a sheen to it or something, and then the same thing on the back. I don't know. I don't think it realistically has to be this price. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's the end of my rant.
But you're also paying for no ads in that book.
You know what? That is a good point. Yeah.
Allegedly.
There's only one ad in the back, and that's for more DC stuff. And DC's been doing that more regularly.
Okay.
In fact, I don't remember the last time I picked up a DC book and I saw an advertisement in it.
Yeah, bring back the comic books that have like the mail-in ads at the back.
Fuck that. Then you lose the value of your book. I mean, look at what happened with the Wolverine's first appearance in Hulk 181.
Yeah. Any of the comic books where it's like peel here and get your digital copy of the comic. I don't think I've ever peeled any of those.
Apparently that's actually a thing. I talked to a shop about that. I was trying to sell a collection of something that I had, and I was like, so I just wanted to let you know, like 2 of them I did redeem the digital copy, and he's like, oh, well, then we can't take it. And I'm like, really, why? And his response was, well, because then it's an incomplete comic. And I'm like, well,
is it? No, I've got just a locker full of Shonen Jump, like the first 8 or 9 years of Shonen Jump, and I don't have any of the cards or posters or whatever promotional stuff that came with it.
Look at you little weeb.
Hey, buddy. What's going on?
Mark the time.
I know. What's up? Where you at? Disappeared on the other side of the bed. About to come dunk on me? Oh, no one's here too. Hey guys. You go play basketball. Oh, there it goes. All right. Well, I'm in a meeting right now.
Very important meeting.
He goes, no.
No. Whatever Calvin says goes, right? I know.
He saw your face, time, Tyler. Buddy. That's why he's crying.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. See you guys. You guys just get back? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, whenever you're done.
Okay.
Did she just threaten you?
No, between episodes, yes. I got to go talk with her about something for school.
Okay, fair enough. Oh, by the way, how did the meeting go?
Good. He got to check out his classroom. He was so comfortable that he pooped himself.
Oh,
worked on it all morning.
How old is he?
3.
That's pretty
He
normal.
turned 3 in June.
Yeah. I didn't stop pooping my
myself
pants
when I
until I
get
was 13.
excited.
Shut the fuck up and get out of my head.
All right. Let's jump back into it now.
Yeah, sure. Moving along, they also have some news. Anthony Mackie has officially signed on for Captain for America. And I thought that was kind of already an official thing, but I guess the announcement is officially declaring the contract. So he is going to be playing the role of Captain America.
Yeah, so he's officially signed the contract. Yeah.
It seemed like it might have been up in the air before. Like, we think he'll return, but now it's like he's definitely returning.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird announcing it and then being like, oh, will it happen, won't it?
This is literally
DC
the same...
announces all sorts of stuff,
True.
and then it's like,
but they're not Marvel.
Polar opposites.
Maybe like
of what
25% of the movies that DC has announced has actually made it to the big screen.
If this point, DC's like, let's just throw stuff at the wall and announce it, and then hopefully it gets done. And then Marvel's
Sean,
like, let's announce literally every step that we take.
Yeah. Sean, if you ever go to McDonald's, you call it Mackey's, don't you?
Yeah.
No, that's.
Do you ever think of Anthony Mackie when you're like, let's go to Mackey's?
Never.
I thought that was
I've never made that connection before.
Well, now you are. And actually, you're going to do it even more because Anthony Mackie was in 8 Mile and he used to call it Mickey D's. Boom. Yeah. Connections. Look at that. Welcome to the show.
I never call it McD's.
Both of his parents love him.
Where I grew up, a lot of people called it Mickey D's, but a lot of that is because of of underimpoverished areas like to use silly names for stuff like Australia.
I don't think it's an underimpoverished thing. I think everyone calls it Mickey D's.
It started off as an underimpoverished thing. It's like a slang thing that started up in areas that had AAVE as the predominant language. The only reason I know about that is because of some of my lessons that I've learned from people who talk about critical race theory in school. And the pretentious academics who love to talk about how AAVE, it's tiresome. Anyways,
we have 3 women running for Board of Education in the town over, and I see all sorts of signs, and it's like, going to support parents, money for the schools and whatnot. And it gets less reasonable as you go down, because then it makes overtures at we're going to make sure that we're taught that, all kids are equal. So they're obviously calling out critical race theory.
Sure.
Or we're not going to make you guys wear your masks in class. And we're going to make sure that schools are always open.
Oh, okay. I see where you're going with this. It's all reasonable, and that starts to be okay. Yeah. This is one of those. That's awkward. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't know, other than president and vice president, I don't know of many people that group together and run on the same ticket. All 3 of us are together.
Well, apparently that's not a really normal thing in the US anymore. That used to be a really normal thing. They used to have support systems for parties that ran together, even though they were in opposition. But because of the intensity of the 2-party system in America, it has caused people to split and say, I'm different from him, I'm different from her, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I think that in Ireland in specific, is a really good example of the democratic system where people are like, yeah, I actually really like this.
Yeah, but they do the ranked choice there. So you can run as a group and just say all 3 of us and put us wherever in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but New York City actually just had their first ranked choice voting election, as well as Maine. And I think a third part of America just did as well. Although I will say that it does show how stupid America is because of the people that are leading and getting reelected in those areas. Like Suzanne Collins got reelected, and then the new mayor of New York is going to be a former cop, and it's just
Americans making stupid decisions.
I know, never. Right? Gosh, yeah. Coming up next on our episode where we talk about QAnon.
Sorry, how did you get in here?
What's up, guy? Hey, tell me what your thoughts are on the...
Yeah, I marked it down. He just busted through the door.
Oh, no, I wasn't saying mark it down. I was just going to ask him what his political opinions are and ask him if he's a Q follower or not.
You closed it.
I did close it. He just busted through.
Did you figure out how to open doors? Look at you.
We have an open door policy.
Is that a balloon you got there, bud? Hi.
Yeah, he stole it from his brother.
Oh, look at you, you little thief. He's a thief in the night.
Thief in the night, yeah. He's waving.
Hi. Hi.
Yep.
Oh, that's precious.
All right, go to mom.
I like how she's holding out her hands all right, just Come to me.
Come to me. Kalima.
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 This is A+ quality content. That's what this is.
Okay. See you guys.
It's no worries. Man.
Again.
It's no worries.
Yeah. All right. Let me mark that down.
It's just funny to me that there's so many.
Anyway. Yeah.
Well, I was just okay. So this is an interesting connection. Just really quick side note before we move on. As you know, I'm on TikTok and I've got some people that I follow and that follow me. The community on TikTok is actually really cool. One of my favorite followers that I first got into was Drew. And he has been doing political stuff on his TikTok pretty regularly. Not in like a pushy way, but just like, I wonder who these characters from DC would vote for in the 2020 election.
Oh, yeah. I remember you disagreeing with him on Jon Stewart.
Yeah, it was the Jon Stewart thing that like blew up.
Oh yeah, I have the Lex Luthor for president issues.
Oh yeah.
From like 2000, 2001.
Dude, the amount of people who have come to an agreement now, like prior to that, a lot of people online were always like, no one would vote for Lex Luthor. And then Trump got elected and they're like, oh, okay, I could definitely see him fucking getting elected.
Because Lex Luthor is much more capable.
And charming.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. You know what? We're not gonna. I don't want to have us diverge too much into the
side back to Anthony Mackie and Captain America, Captain for America,
Captain for America.
Actually,
I did that Fant Four Stick thing.
Yeah, no word on whether or not Sebastian Stan is coming back for that.
No,
or anybody else.
The head writer and creator of Falcon and Winter Soldier is writing the script though for this movie.
Yeah.
So I wanted to move on to a speculation actually about this. Do we have any idea or guesses or desires of who we're going to see in the next Captain America film?
Will it deal with the Sharon Carter stuff?
Maybe.
I mean, it has to at this point, right?
Well,
no, at least we have the continuity from the writers carrying on.
That could be setting up Armor Wars.
I just remembered this. Wasn't there was a response because the backlash from fans about how the Sharon Carter stuff was going down? They're like, no, we're fixing that. Sorry.
Really?
Really?
Did you not hear about that?
No.
No, I thought that was fine. Like, obviously, if you get, you're all being chased, Captain America had to go underground. She had to go underground, but
that's because
everyone kind of forgot about her, so they bring her back. Yeah.
It's plot development. It's whatever.
It seemed at least reasonable.
Who actually cared about her character enough to give Marvel hate over that?
A fucking lot of people, dude. And there's also a lot of people who were saying, well, I'm saying a lot of people. Realistically, it's like 12 people on Twitter who are going like, ah. But apparently there was enough of a backlash that Disney and Marvel in general has responded and said, we're going to resolve this. She's not going to be the next villain, which
I figured she would go to work for Val. What's her name?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I did too. But I think the problem is that this is very much the Star Wars scenario over again. There's just too many people online who have too much of a voice. Do you disagree? It's okay if you do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think they need to fix anything about that. That seemed,
it seems unreasonable to demand a change to something like that when it's just an adaptation. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It
didn't seem that too far out that would be a route that somebody might take if they're on the run.
If it was the first female character that had power or potential, I could see the response, but this is 10 plus years into the MCU.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem necessary to me to make that change when we don't even know where it's going.
Just keep going in the same direction they've been going with
this really
Sharon Carter.
Absolutely. I think that this is simultaneously one of the best times to be a comic book fan, but also one of the harsher times because the people who really feel like this gatekeeping ownership over these characters are just as toxic as they were before. They're just way more vocal, and now they have a platform to shout.
I hope that they trust that people will have watched the TV show, so we don't need to rehash the TV show in the movie.
By the way, this actually leads me on to a thing I wanted to ask you guys before we move on to the Black Canary stuff. I think I figured out why I had an issue with the potential casting of a Black Superman. And I actually figured it out. I had sat down for a minute and I was like, what is my actual issue with this? And I realized what the issue is. Because it's not, I don't think that they would address racism. I think that's the issue that I would have with it. I think that it would make sense to, I don't really have an issue with a black Superman existing, especially because it's just an adaptation. I don't really give a shit. But I think that if you're not going to confront specific things, don't do it. They just announced it. They just addressed it in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah. I keep doing that, Captain Falcon. When you address an actual, like, let me collect myself here. If you're going to do something like that, you don't have to have the entire movie be about it. But if you do it, you have to address the elephant in the room, which is that people inherently are going to either have a mixed response of, yeah, absolutely, or hell no. And you have to address that. Sean had brought up this point before of people being open to him because he was white was way more widely accepted. And I agree with that. I think that if they address it, it could be fine. And I think that's really the issue that I have, is that I don't think that the studio would want to necessarily address a lot of those issues. And we're only now seeing these issues being really addressed in a lot of the shows and in the movies. And I think that that was my issue with it at first. However, if they do address it, I think that it covers all the bases. Because realistically, Clark Kent can be black. It doesn't really change anything, especially in a modern day.
Most of the time, DC is kind of running a couple laps behind Marvel.
Yeah,
they're always trying to play catch up. They got Wonder Woman.
DC have like glitched, and they're like walking into a wall. And just yeah.
So I think they have enough time to maybe course correct and adjust for that after seeing, okay, well now they have a black Captain America. We can just keep doing. We can do what they did. Because they keep getting closer and closer, just like mirroring the Marvel formula.
Yeah. Sean had pointed out in the chat that the way that they had addressed everything in the Falcon show was really poignant, and I completely agree. I still think it faltered a little bit here and there. It was a little loose, but the way that they addressed
the show was butchered, cut apart, and put back together again because they removed an entire plot line from it.
Exactly.
Really? I didn't know anything about that.
Oh yeah, there was a whole virus subplot that they removed because obviously COVID.
Yeah. Really? They had that in there before COVID?
Yeah. That's why the whole Flag Smashers mission is like, oh, we want life back how it was before this, like before people were brought back. Like when half the population was dead.
Well, that was just from the snap.
Yeah, but there was a whole thing where they were going to wipe out some of the population again.
With the bioterrorism act.
I'm a bit skeptical of that. I'd have to see.
I believe that's confirmed.
Okay.
The thing that I'm saying is like the speech at the end of the show by Anthony Mackie's character was the addressing that needed to be said. And then his relationship with the previous, I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. The one who was tested upon, he was put in prison. That entire plot, that little subplot was so fucking good. And that's something that should be addressed if it does happen in the Superman film. And if it's Ta-Nehisi Coates, yeah. No, I think you're right. I think it's Elijah.
Yeah.
I guess the thing I'm trying to say is
the second Captain America.
Yeah, the one who ended up getting the same treatment, but he just got put into prison and tested upon.
Yeah.
That was the most direct way, without just directly saying some nonsense like that was overly preachy. That directly stood in the face of everything that I think a lot of people have been saying, and that was so good. If Ta-Nehisi Coates is still signed on to do this, I think that he will address it, and that's why I have faith in it. He's also just a genuinely good writer. I like what he did with Black Panther. I've not read any of his individual novels, but I've heard good things as well.
I've seen them. I've been tempted to pick them up.
It's an interesting time to read it now, because he was a reporter beforehand. So I'd be curious.
And now he's going to be teaching at.
He already does teach, I think.
Yeah. But he's moved to
Portland,
Harvard.
is it? Oh, is it Harvard?
You're thinking of somebody else. I think you're thinking of David Walker.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is going to be teaching.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't think of what it is. Really quick, I'm just going to do this. Jurnee Smollett is, I think I'm saying it's Smollett. Black Canary movie at HBO Max apparently has been announced from the Lovecraft creator Misha Green writing it. This looks like it's going to be an individual film focusing on her character as the secondary Black Canary. And we're hoping that this means this is going to be like actual Black Canary instead of just shouty woman from Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Give her the hair.
I think it was actually
give her the fishnets.
Smollett.
Give her the green arrow.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a lady that can scream really loud.
Give her the green dick.
Yeah.
Josh is like, this is
blocked by the long dick of the law.
And then he says that shit. I swear to God. You have children, sir.
Yeah, I'm gonna try not to scream it too loud.
Yeah, because the last thing you need is when your teacher, the teacher is just calling. Yeah, we're a little concerned about Calvin's behavior.
Oh my God. The other day, I don't know where the hell he learned it from. Not from me.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
But he was trying to say your feet are so stinky. Like he was pretending to like smell my feet and go, but he said your ass is so stinky. And we were like, where did you learn that from?
Probably from Sean.
Probably me.
Yeah, stop babysitting my kids.
Sorry.
We didn't ask you to.
Uncle
Sean. He does little secret calls in the middle of the night. He's like, tell your dad this.
All right.
Go find the weapons. If you find the gold, find me later at the treasure house.
So Jurnee Smollett was in the Birds of Prey film.
Yeah.
And she didn't look like the canary in there.
Well,
no.
If you're looking at the history of Black Canary, that she fit that pretty well. And I think that it's the same issue that they had with spoiler.
Stephanie Brown.
Thank you. No, not Stephanie Brown. That's my mistake. The other one.
Cassandra Cain.
Thank you. Cassandra Cain.
Oh, I don't know the fact that like it was just like a little Asian girl that had nothing in common with Cassandra
literally
Cain
that's
outside
it.
of a name.
That's literally it. And that
is one of like the Batwomen.
Cassandra Cain, trained assassin, mute, absolute badass ninja. In the movie, it was like a short little Asian girl who was homeless and was like
chatty as hell.
Yeah, chatty, wisecracking, smartass.
Oh, and she was
Let's do that, but the opposite.
Literally, it was such a confusing, like, and frustrating thing. Like, why did they need to do that? At least with Black Canary, they were like, well, let's like do the backstory of the Black Canary history. I mean, she's got the ability. She's only going to use it the one time. She's a really good fighter.
She used it one time in the movie.
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ.
You haven't even seen the movie.
I haven't.
I need to watch it. It's on HBO Max, isn't it?
Sorry, did she develop the powers in the movie?
No.
So she already had them. And they were like, oh, we're only going to use this power once.
Their logic for why was because she actively was trying to seek vengeance
because they used the whole budget buying Margot Robbie.
And
they were like, oh shit, we're going to just have to cut out all these shouty scenes.
Well, they actually did make a lot of sense with it if you look at the logic, just a smidge. I still think that they could have had her developed a little bit more. Honestly, my biggest criticism is less with her. It's more to do with Cassandra Cain and
Huntress.
No, I actually like what they did with Huntress. I think that they did a fantastic job.
From a trailer, she looked like the only character that was actually accurate.
She was literally pulled from the comics and put into the movie and then just made slightly more like socially inept. And it was really funny. And actually it worked really well.
She's been shown as socially inept in the comics recently as well.
Recently,
yeah.
I think it works.
Detective Montoya in there.
Yeah, that's actually what I was going to say is Renee Montoya. I don't really like what they did with her at all. They made her aged up. She doesn't become the question. She just is a cop basically. And I just think that was kind of lazy. I like that actress and I like Renee Montoya. I really don't know if I like with it. It's an adaptation. I get it. It's an interpretation by the creators, whatever. But I just don't see the point in making such dramatic changes to characters that are so beloved because Renee Montoya is such a fucking badass.
Yeah. She appeared enough in the Batman animated series. That's where I know her most from. I
mean, she's just an interesting character in general. I mean, her role in the current Batman comics is really interesting and complex because she has a lot of, well, I mean, we're not going to get into that too much, but regardless.
She didn't have much of a role in The Dark Knight.
No, I don't think so.
Was she in she was in there a little bit, but she was driving Harvey Dent around.
Oh. Yeah, that's...
Yeah, no. She was just generic cop.
She was generic cop. Let's give her the name, move on. I mean, it's the same thing they did with Bullock. They were like, he's there, whatever, fuck off, move on.
All right. can we talk about? Did you guys catch that other solicitation I sent you?
PhenomX.
PhenomX.
Yeah.
Talk
what
about
is this?
That real quick. So this, if you notice the writers, one of them is John Leguizamo.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
So like I said before, we have Berserker with Keanu Reeves, Mother of Madness with Emilia Clarke, and I kind of put that as the cutoff of like anybody after Mother of Madness is they saw how well Keanu Reeves Berserker was received and how well it sold. Everybody after Mother of Madness is basically trying to get a little bit of that money.
I mean, I guess, but he's also had ties to comic books for years.
Yeah,
I mean, he was in Spawn.
Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to get this because I like John Leguizamo. I
do too.
He really brings any character he plays to life.
He really does. He's a very interesting character in the first place. But I think the biggest frustration for me is that, like, he is historically a strong comedian, and then he has been bouncing around and kind of pigeonholed into certain roles now. Lately, it seems like he's in a lot more crime stories. He was in that recent historic drama. I
Five.
think yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't he also in When They See Us?
That's it.
Yeah.
He was in John Wick as well.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. So he
was a mechanic that just passes the word along. I don't think he was in any of the sequels.
Anyway, I think he was in the second one as well.
Yeah, he was.
Okay, I don't remember well enough then. The synopsis for this is wrongfully imprisoned and desperate to regain his freedom, Max Gomez agrees to become a subject in an underground government experiment. When the trial gives him phenomenal shape-shifting abilities, Gomez learns his new freedom requires surviving a superpowered war fought on the streets of New York City.
This is a $6.99 book for a number one.
Yeah, it doesn't say how many pages. Maybe I could find that on previews. There's a look inside. It's something to do with, they show out PhenomX, but then they like put PH over an X.
Yeah.
That's part of his costume too.
Yeah. This is imprinted through Todd McFarlane Productions, which looks like it's going to be a new imprint coming through Image, which I didn't know really was necessary since he basically runs the whole thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Does.
Yeah,
so what the hell?
It's just so he can get a little bit of that money.
I thought they already had all their own imprints anyway, the original founders.
Yeah. They do. That's what I'm confused about.
Maybe he's just,
you know what? He might be trying to build up the Spawn universe since the movie or show or whatever is coming out soon.
Oh yeah. Hey, John Leguizamo was in Spawn.
That's what I said earlier, Josh. I will hunt you down.
I don't know if you said that. I think you may have just thought it.
Listen.
No. Todd McFarlane Productions is Todd McFarlane's production company since the founding of Image.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Imaginative name?
No.
Back in the 90s, did you need it?
You had Wildstorm, you had Highbrow, Shadowline,
Top Cow,
Dream, and then Todd McFarlane.
I'm Todd McFarlane.
Todd McFarlane. I'm here to tell you. Now. Seriously. Well, I mean, I guess with the hype of Venom 2, the celebration of 200, the new Spawn stuff coming out. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this is almost he is the most successful comic creator of all time.
Maybe. But this is almost like prototype.
He is, Tyler.
No.
He's made
I think it's
more
Robert Kirkman. I think
other...
Robert Kirkman is the most successful writer, comic creator.
When his lawsuit for AMC pays out, yes. but for now, it's McFarlane.
Fair enough.
Robert Kirkman's going to be rich enough that he can just walk around naked whenever he wants.
He doesn't do that now?
I'm here at the Comic Con and naked. I got money. Screw all you guys.
Yeah. Apparently, Dominique Thorne has been cast as Riri Williams and will be making her debut as the new Ironheart character in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which I think that Sean said it best when he said it, so I'm going to let him take it from here. It's an interesting choice.
Yeah, so, we've got a new black superhero. Let's introduce her in the black superhero movie.
It seems a little strange to do that.
This is Ironheart.
Considering one is set in like rural
Chicago.
Africa, And
so she's going to be moving from
she's like
LA to Chicago.
And she's like a middle-class American teen. It's
it doesn't
just weird.
Genius. Yeah. American teen genius.
Yes. And yet the Black Panther universe is set in Africa.
Yeah. So some people, I mean, you shared that Reddit thread, and some people had like, here's how maybe they could make this happen.
Yeah.
Like they had the outreach center in Oakland for Wakanda. Whatever they call it, the outreach center. Maybe they've got one in Chicago. Maybe that's how she gets in.
Maybe. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Was it Chicago for her or was it San Francisco? I can't remember.
Well, I think her character's from Chicago.
Okay. She's a terrible character anyway, so who cares?
Whoa, hang on a second there. Slow your roll.
You can't say that, Sean.
She's actually an interesting character. I like her.
I read her introduction and I did not like it.
Okay, here's the thing.
Iron Man run.
Let's get this down to what it actually is. You're just a Bendis hater because you're a contrarian. You're like, I don't like anything that's popular.
No.
Everything he makes, I hate.
I'm
Sean.
Tyler's gonna call somebody contrarian.
I read his Iron Man run. The first arc was really good.
You're wrong. That's how I know you're bad. That's how I know you have bad taste. There, I said
Why?
it. Yep. Okay, look, let's be honest here. It wasn't a good run. It wasn't at all.
No. However, that's what I'm saying. The first arc was really good. The second arc was the most disjointed mess I've ever read. Like the issues didn't lead into each other. They just made no sense.
The whole thing about him being in like a coma, cool, whatever. Civil War II, didn't have an issue with it. Just them being like, oh, is he dead? Is he alive? Let's kill a character, bring him back. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Come on, stop it.
Riri Williams just came out of nowhere. And she was just a Mary Sue. Like she could do everything.
I think that's a bit of a blind spot on his side. Sometimes he'll make characters that are honestly just too powerful or too cool. And it's like, give them some more faults, you know?
Yeah.
I really like how, I forgot the name of the writer, but Eve Ewing, I think, is the one who took over writing it. Yeah, she actually did a really great job writing that character. I thought that she was interesting. I just didn't really like the art style for that first arc. Ironheart got a better costume. She joined the Champions. She had her character developed a lot more instead of just being the new super genius who had no flaws, you know?
Yeah.
So Black Panther is supposed to come out July 8th next year. And we're supposed to get an Ironheart 6-episode series, still to be determined, but it's looking like 2023.
It's far out. Well,
we've got for 2022, they've got Moon Knight, She-Hulk, and Secret Invasion, and the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. And then
I forgot about that.
Ironheart, and then Armor Wars, and then the Untitled Wakanda series are still to be announced. So
here's my question. This is less of a question directly. Well, unless some of you know, how are they managing everything with the Delta variant right now? Because I know that for some like sites, they're just like testing on site every day to make sure that people are okay, but
they're just shooting in New Zealand and never leaving.
It seems like it. I mean, what did they have like one case in New Zealand? They're like, shut the whole country down. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Fair.
They just bring everybody in. They have their own bubble that they create, kind of like the what was it, the NBA championship?
Yeah. Did you see what Kurt Busiek said about like a year ago?
No.
When everything was getting really bad and people were talking about how like a lot of movies and everything were getting delayed, he and I think Gail Simone both said this. They said that, you know, it's more important for people to get a focus on getting life back on track and making sure that there's the vaccine, that we're all going to be safe. Like take a year or two off from making movies and whatever. That's fine. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. People's lives are way more important than entertainment, you know?
Okay, you've had your
and then
year
Kevin
and a half
Feige's
off.
just there snorting and go like, lol, now we're gonna make more.
Yeah.
Well, now we're in like super overcharge right now, trying to get all this stuff out.
It's because they just want to maintain their profits so much. And this is
well, we got to make that money back because it, like we've talked about this before. Every other month for the next year is another Marvel movie.
Yeah.
Like, usually it was like 4 to 6 months in between each one, and now it's every other month, just up at the beginning of the month, pretty much.
Yeah, it's back to back nonstop.
Yeah, starting with
Black coming out soon.
Yeah, starting with Black Widow, beginning of July, beginning of September, beginning of November, right at the end of December for Spider-Man, and then Doctor Strange. I don't know what's coming out in probably May, but then we skip back to July with Black Panther.
You remember that time that they were like, "Oh, I can't believe it's going to be a year without a Marvel film," and then this happens, and now it's just back.
Yeah,
back.
but it was a year without a Marvel film, and then we had Captain Marvel followed directly by Infinity War, and then
it's a lot, man. I mean, as much as I love the stuff, I'll be the first to say, dude, they should slow the fuck down. Like, they should take this time now with the Delta variant and be like, okay, let's slow. We'll take a break after Shang-Chi. Take a little time, whatever.
Or, no, it was Captain Marvel followed by Endgame. That's what it was. And we still yeah.
Speaking of the MCU and everything that's going on with that, apparently the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer has been leaked. Sony is trying their absolute hardest to cover it up and block it in every format that they can. One of the original sources came from Instagram. Apparently a source recently found it on YouTube. That got taken down. Yep. Now there's a speculation about it actually being officially released today in response to the leak.
Yeah, because
maybe, or this is all part of the hype train.
Yeah, because someone on TikTok I saw pointed out that in WandaVision, the little date they had highlighted on the calendar was August 23rd. And then earlier on today, the WandaVision Instagram account posted on their story saying, "We've had this day marked, have you?"
Yeah.
So people
I gotta look at that closer. WandaVision calendar. I know it was the 23rd, but it does say well, it says Wednesday the 23rd. I don't think it ever said August. No, it does say August. It does say August 23rd.
But yeah, so we're not going to get into spoilers about the trailer, but yeah, it leaks.
I'm avoiding it. Yeah. I'm going to avoid it for as long as I can. I'll watch it tonight.
No, I've not seeked it out, but I've scrolled past screenshots from it.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because there are so many posting them on their Instagram stories and stuff, and like just everywhere.
If you look it up on like Twitter, there's just memes aplenty.
Yeah, CNN is reporting it as people are losing their minds, and I'm just like, nope, I don't want to. That headline.
I'm not going to lose my mind. I'm not going to be privy to this.
I just don't want to even see the hashtags. I've already seen the hashtags say Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, and I'm like, I don't know if that actually is confirmed. I don't want to know. I'm just going to wait. I want to focus on.
But you can't do like a whole.
Would you like me to tell you the screenshots I've seen?
No.
Media blackout for 4 months.
Tyler.
No, don't.
Spider-Man's in it.
Oh, thank God.
Oh shit! Spider-Man dies in the first 10 minutes of the film.
But which one?
All of them. It's all true.
No,
everything.
See, my speculative mind is already going into hyperdrive here. I'm picturing Morpheus. And
we never learned our lesson from WandaVision.
No, we never did. What are they called? The totem vampires. I forgot what those guys are called.
From What We Do in the Shadows.
J. Michael Straczynski's run on Spider-Man. Remember? They suck the energy and life force out of the spider.
Energy vampires.
Yeah, they're energy vampires, but they've been like crossing the timelines and traveling to different realities, hunting them down.
Time wraiths.
Do you guys just not read Spider-Man? Is that what this is? Am I the only fucking one on this podcast?
Spider-Man's just a wimp.
It's on my list.
Whatever. I don't like spiders.
Fuck you. Screw you guys. All right.
Screw you guys and go home.
That's about as close to an American accent as we're ever
you
gonna get
are
out of
just it makes me laugh that you are so incapable of doing a single accent. At least last night when I was like trying to do an accent, I was like, "Oh, bro, I'm trying to get mucked over here." It's fucking terrible, I know, but
yeah.
I was watching Attack the Block last night, and we're so engaged by the accents, and we're just like digging into it so much. That's what sparked the whole John Boyega conversation.
You know, The Secret Garden. You ever read that? Ever watch that?
Mm-mm.
No? Goddamn.
What is it? I don't know.
It's a play, book, movie, whatever. Basically, it's not Roald Dahl, but it's basically the same as like a Roald Dahl sort of thing. Not Willy Wonka, but more like the BFG or Little Princess.
That sounds actually familiar now that you say it like that.
So it's a little kid that's sick in bed. Girl gets, it's back in like the tuberculosis times in the 1800s
TB.
or whatever. Yeah. I like my girl with a nice cough. Anyway, no, little girl gets sent to a manor after her parents die in India. And she discovers a little boy yelling as she's wandering around this empty manor. And there's just the boy's dad that's an invalid. So anyway, they put on a play at the theater that my wife worked at, and they needed some adults in there. So I ended up, the main characters, their last name is Craven. So I ended up playing one of the doctors, the uncle, Dr. Craven. And I was supposed to do a British accent for that. That's the whole point I'm telling the story. And it was terrible. Like, the farther into the scene I got, the less accent I had.
Here's what I need you to do. I want you to try your absolute hardest right now to mimic Sean's accent.
No.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna end up. I think I'm gonna end up sounding more like a Valley girl. Like,
It's gonna
Sean,
be very
you say
simple.
something.
All you got to do is just say water bottle.
Water bottle.
See?
Water bottle.
Perfect.
Can I have a water
Perfect.
bottle and some chips, please?
And some chips.
Can I have a
please.
water bottle and some chips, please?
See, the thing is, like, your area has such a subtle form of that accent. It only comes out in little snippets here and there. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as what's that one where it's really not Cockney, the other one, the one that sounds really fucking Southern almost. Oh, you know what? Never mind.
Liverpool, Birmingham.
No, it's further east, I think. More northeast from you.
Blackpool, Newcastle.
It's closer to Newcastle. I can't think of the place right now. I literally just watched a whole bunch of videos about accents.
So I tell the swamp donkey to socket it before I give her a trunky in the tradesman's entrance and have her lick me yarbles.
Did you just quote Eurotrip?
Yeah,
I love you.
it's the first thing that came to mind.
I love that was what you looked up, because I literally think of that scene in specific every fucking time.
I quote that movie all the time.
I want to watch that tonight. I don't give a shit. I love that fucking.
That is
dumbass
one
movie.
of my. I will put that at near the top of my list of favorite movies.
I didn't understand the Manchester song joke for the longest time until I actually looked into how many Manchester songs there are. I had no fucking idea. It was not clarified to me. It's a very unique thing. So the reason why that joke makes sense anyways is they make it up on the spot, right?
Yeah.
So the joke is that Man U literally has 20 songs. So people are just making up new songs all the time. So that's the joke. That's only people from England are going to be able to understand.
Sure, it could be that song. Whatever.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
God, that movie's so goddamn stupid. I'm gonna enjoy watching it tonight.
The guys that made that movie were Seinfeld writers, the same writers that made the Festivus episodes.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that at all. This
So
episode
just think of
this is derailing really
cast.
heavily.
Think of the Seinfeld cast as high school graduates, and then let's just have them go to Europe.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
What would you like me to say in an American accent?
I want you to say there's an active shooter at the school.
All violence is legal for the next 24 hours.
Where we go one, we go all.
Fucking dumb.
I'll practice in the intermission and then
yeah, practice in the mirror.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to say thank you because your Vincent Price impression for the opening has been really good. I had a lot of fun putting that into the beginning of the show.
Whose, mine or his?
Sean's.
Bastard.
My Vincent Price impression.
This is the Coats of Comics. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Have you just not been listening to it at all? You don't go in and just check?
Well, I checked out a few of them and I didn't hear anything.
I put it at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah, there's the little musical entrance and then we get right into it. I've checked some of the stuff on Spotify.
Yeah.
And then there's the chopping sound with the goat scream. And I think the last time I listened was sometime in July.
I modified that a little bit just so it could be a little bit less God, ear rape.
Yeah.
But I am trying to find a new song of some kind, or maybe I'm just going to make something. I mean, I'm definitely open to have something there. It's feeling a little bit too Stranger Things for me right now. I'd like to have something a little bit more, maybe not comical, but something that would fit the tone a little bit more, something more camp.
Yeah. After we get done here, I'll go into the kitchen and record something. I'll pull the spoons and the coffee cups out.
Listen, I already know where this is going. I can't have you record you beating your children with a wooden spoon on camera. It's not possible. It might
be a little less ear rapey than a bleeding goat.
Exactly. Well, I don't know. I've seen your kids, and I've also heard your kids. I think that it'll be worse than a bleeding goat. Here's what's going to happen. Why don't we record your wife hitting you? Then we'll put that in there. Ow.
Oh, threaten me with a good time.
I knew it. I told you the relationship was that she beats him, which beautiful. Good for you guys.
Yeah.
And on that note, I think that we've derailed this conversation enough. I don't know what's even happening anymore.
We're stalling for time. As soon as
no
we hit
idea.
that 1 hour mark, YouTube gives us all the money.
I guess there's only one other thing that we should mention. It's just that Barry Keoghan apparently has recently been attacked. He's going to be in the Eternals. Do we know why he got attacked? He was like stabbed. No, I'm sorry. He was slashed in the face or something with a knife.
Yeah. He was just found outside of his hotel in the early morning, like at 3 a.m.
Yeah. That's
in Galway.
What do you think the reason why is? I mean, other than
he found the wrong Galway girl.
God knows. Probably
why does that make
drunk douchebags, muggers? I don't know.
I mean, it's England. How dangerous can it be at night?
It's not England. It's Ireland. It's the west coast of Ireland. As far away from London as you can get.
It's the UK. It's all one big wibbly wobbly timey wimey thing in the space of fucking Greensvilles.
Okay.
I feel offended.
I don't think you are.
Let's take a break and regroup. Sean, go practice the Pledge of Allegiance in the mirror.
And on that note, I'm actually going to have us call it good on this news episode. We'll continue later with the comic book roundup and comic book club episode. This has been the Cult of Comics podcast. You can find us on all the podcast platforms except for Stitcher. Fuck you, Stitcher. And you can check us out on YouTube. You can subscribe, like, follow. Most importantly, if you want to support us, you can give us $1. Go to patreon.com/cultofcomics. Thanks for checking us out. All hail. Stay safe.